Greetings, all. I am StrawhatOtakuDrew, and we're running a little late getting started today because of technical difficulties. My laptop had an attitude and did not want to start the stream, but I've got it sorted out now, and here we are. But because of those delays, I am not going to delay any further by flapping my gums. Instead, we're going to dive right on in. First up, we've got anime episode 1096. So let's do it. Skip intro. Skip intro. Forbidden piece of history. The theory concerning a kingdom. Those The fuck do you think is the matter? No. wow. Robin's backstory still hits hard, even after all this time. But that was a good episode. I'm somewhat annoyed that right at the height of the flashback, it cuts off and goes over to Luffy and Chopper's shenanigans. I feel like they should have left all of the Luffy and Chopper stuff together at the beginning of the episode. Because, I mean, they started with that, just put that whole bit together, and then go into the flashback. Let the episode end where the flashback segment ended. And then next week's episode, they could pick up and finish off the episode or finish off the flashback there at the beginning of the next episode. But that's just my thoughts on how it was handled. Other than that, I liked this. It was cool getting to see this more fleshed out, well, slightly more fleshed out bit of Clover's background. I feel like his adventures could constitute a series of their own. Anyways, good episode though. I'm looking forward to the next one when we get the reveal of who was at O'Hara recovering all of their research and whatnot. I mean, we saw Dragon's silhouette, but the rest of it is going to hit the anime only watchers upside the head like a baseball bat. And I'm here for it. So I look forward to that. Anyways, yeah, good episode. So, with that done, I guess it's time to move on to our main event. What we're all here for. Manga chapter 1109. Interception. Oh, he started a new cover series. Limited cover series, number 26, Onigashima Sinks. Okay. All right, let's find out about the interception. I last week at the end of 11:08, I didn't even notice that monitor with the the apparent heart rate monitor and then the flat line coming in at the end of it, and now it's just flatlined entirely. So apparently I was right about this being on a dead man switch. I think the Stella is actually dead. Fucking whoop slap. Wow, Morgan's really is in the know. Dragon knows what's going on. Wow, Luffy. Oh wow, that was both Saturn and Kizaru. I'll make the summons. Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, all right. So, um, chapter 1109. That was indeed a chapter. Let's try and unpack this. Emphasis on try. As every week, when I'm done with this stream, I'm going to go watch other people's videos about this chapter, and I'm sure I'm going to find out about a lot that I missed. So, but let's see what I am not missing. Well, first of all, I'm thrilled to see Oda Sensei start a new cover series here. Onigashima sinks. I am not even sure where that could be going, but with that, it's more about the promise of further development than it is about this itself. So I'm still totally stoked. I'm here for it. Bring it on, Oda Sensei. Then we get into the chapter, and it does indeed pick up where last week's chapter left off, with a caveat that is very much an Oda Sensei thing to do. In true Oda Sensei fashion, rather than just hit us with the bombshell that was promised at the end of last chapter, he hits us with a, we can't say right now, but it's coming soon. So we've got a 10-minute timer. While recorded Vegapunk gives the world time to prepare their video Dendenmushi. We see the Gorosei collectively losing their shit over anything and everything they imagine Vegapunk may say in this recorded message. Then we get some nice cutaways to various people reacting to the announcement that is to come. Our friends back at Dressrosa, Fuchsia Village, Whoop Slap is hilarious. Their food isn't free, you know. We'll get by on sound alone and you'll like it. Water 7. Big News Morgans. wherever he currently is. I mean, since his craft is in the sky, it doesn't give us any location. He could be pretty much anywhere. So my theory could be right about where they are heading, or I could be completely off base. I don't even remember if I have said what that theory is yet. Probably not, because it's part of the theory videos that I have planned, the series of theory videos. So I'm going to leave that to that. Excuse me. Big News Morgan's once again proving that he knows a lot about what's going on in the world. I am curious how he knows about the goings on at Egghead, and specifically about the Buster Call, because that is a very new development. The Buster Call has just been enacted in the last couple chapters. So I know that a lot of people think Stussy had something to do with letting him know, which I guess is theoretically possible. But it just, I don't know. Something seems odd about it. Oh, wow, I just noticed that my glasses finally came clean when I wiped them earlier. Nice. Something really seems odd about it, particularly with him knowing about the Buster Call. With him knowing about Luffy being there and all that, sure. Stussy could have told him at any point in the last 24 hours. But now, with all the shit going on, I don't see Stussy calling him in the middle of all of this to say, oh, hey, just wanted to update you. Yeah, there's Buster Call going on here now. Yeah, no, not in the middle of all that. So I think Morgan's has to have a source inside the world government that notified him off camera or off panel. The question is who that could be. It would have to be someone high up enough that they would be aware of the goings on at Egghead. Clearly, the Gorosei themselves are not informing Morgans about this potentially seditious activity. Part of me wonders if it might actually be Fujitora. We know that he does not agree with a lot of the shit that the world government does. So if Fujitora has learned about what's going on here, which as an admiral is absolutely within the realm of possibility for him to know about it, then he might want to shine a light on the misdeeds of the world government here by surreptitiously sending the most infamous reporter in the One Piece world the information about this. Morgans might not even know who his source is. He may have just gotten the information anonymously. But I do think that Fujitora is a very real possibility for it. But that I got off track a little bit there. Still relevant though, because like I said, with the Buster Call being a fairly new development, somebody has to have informed Morgans since the fight on Egghead started. Because this wasn't originally supposed to be a Buster Call. This was originally just supposed to be all of this power, all of this Marine Navy power is there just to ensure that all of the Vegapunks except York were killed and to take control of Egghead. It's only been since the fight started that the gear shifted to Buster Call, wipe it out. So for that reason, even if Stussy is a source, Morgans has to have another source. Because Stussy would not have had an opportunity to ring him up during the goings on of the last several chapters. Anyways, after all of those, we just have generic reaction shots, or at least I don't recognize who the hell these people are. West Blue, North Blue, South Blue. Guessing the point of that is to show that it's the whole world seeing this, not just the places that we happen to know. Oh, then we get Kamabaka Queendom. And we see the revolutionaries react. Dragon seems to understand what's going on. He thinks back to Shaka talking about his death being imminent. And I think Dragon did the math that this was a message to be broadcast upon Vegapunk's death. But then we're back to Luffy, and apparently Saturn and Kizaru both try shit at the same time. Luffy manages to dodge. I gotta say, Kizaru with the eye beams, you just pew, 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 pew. Okay, yeah. Squeeze harder, Luffy. And Luffy just nopes that shit. Gomu Gomu no Dawn symbol. Yeah. All right. I'm good with this. Just flatten both they asses. And get them twirling real good. And fling. Kizaru apparently crashes into his ship, the ship that they came on. Luffy laughing his ass off, but then he sees that Saturn has managed to control it, apparently, take control of his spinning flight, and comes back around to where Luffy is. So even Luffy is noticing and getting exasperated by the way nothing seems to do anything to Saturn. And Kizaru just laid out on his ship there. At this point, not even looking like he's trying to get up. And then shit gets real. There's no time, Saturn. Vegapunk must not be given license to speak. I'll make the summons. Good. And then we see 4 more summoning circles appear, with dark forms materializing inside each of them. Just, oh shit. And just in case there was any doubt, Sanji got to point it out for us. That's the same thing as when Spider Gramps showed up. All 5 Gorosei are now on Egghead. Shit just got real. Sorry. Yeah. The official website does not say when the next chapter is. So, could be next Sunday, could be 1 week break, could be 2 week break, could be Oda Sensei is taking another month off. If he needs it, then I support that. I want him to take care of his health, so he'll be around to make sure the story gets finished. But from what we have on the official website, I have no idea when the next chapter will be. But whenever that next chapter drops, I think we finally going to see the proper beast forms, not just in silhouette, of all 5 Gorosei. I thought things were starting to look a bit too easy for the Straw Hats. I really did. This arc, it was starting to look like it was about winning, like it was becoming about the win. So I'm actually glad for this, not only for the proper reveal of the Gorosei's transformations, but also to bring it back to what this arc was supposed to be in the first place, which is not beat them, but let's get the fuck out of here. So I'm glad for this development. I don't know how they're gonna manage to get the fuck out of here with all 5 Gorosei. I mean, clearly Dorian Brogy and the giant pirates are going to grab the Sunny, grab the Straw Hats, get them on board the giant ship, and get the hell out of Dodge. But the Gorosei are not going to just stand by and allow that to happen. And at the same time, Luffy and Sanji cannot allow the Gorosei to interrupt Vegapunk's broadcast. So we have to stay on Egghead for the next 10 minutes, however many chapters that translates to. Could be just the next chapter, we get to the end of that 10 minutes, or we could have umpteen chapters of Luffy and Sanji and probably Zoro and Jinbei are going to get pulled into it as well. Of them tangling with the Gorosei. In order to keep the Gorosei from shutting down Vegapunk's broadcast. That is going to become our mini objective. Again, not about victory, about don't let them turn that off. And then once the broadcast is over, time to go. But they have to make sure that message gets out. I was genuinely starting to wonder how Oda Sensei was going to pad this out until 11/16, because it felt like things were wrapping up too quickly. I mean, last week when Luffy palmed Saturn and is crushing Kizaru in his fist, it just is like, okay, he's making these guys look like chumps. How the hell are we getting 8 more chapters out of this? That's how the hell we're getting 8 more chapters out of this. Now, the question is not how are we getting 7 more chapters out of this? The question is, how is 7 chapters going to be enough to finish this out? And I feel like there needs to be at least 1 chapter of interim stuff. So really 6 more chapters on Egghead with 1110, 1111, which has to be a Zoro-centric chapter because Zoro's birthday, November 11th, 1111. Only 4 days after mine. Woohoo! Us November boys got to stick together, Zoro. Anyways, yeah. So 1110 we'll get our proper view of the Gorosei, and we will probably get a sense of our matchups. As Luffy tells everyone that they have to stop the Gorosei from ending the broadcast, or Bonnie tells them that is a very real possibility as well. Bonnie could realize that this is Vegapunk's last message. She might only be 12, but she is very smart. So she might be able to figure out that this is a recording that was set up to broadcast upon the death of the Stella. It's a very real possibility. Bonnie could do the math, figure out that the Stella died, and so she would want his final wish of this message getting out to come to fruition. So it's entirely possible that Bonnie could go back and join the fray. I still want to see a double Nika attack, so I'm on board with that. And it just... So yeah, that's what I'm thinking will happen in 1110. Bonnie does the math, realizes what's going on with this broadcast, and goes back. He tells Luffy that they have to ensure this broadcast is not interrupted. So Luffy passes on the order to fight. And we'll start getting our matchups next week. I see Luffy and Bonnie teaming up on Saturn. But at some point, Bonnie is going to get sent away. Sanji, well, shite. We don't know enough about the other Gorosei and what their actual gimmicks are in order to intuit matchups here. So I can't even really begin to guess. There's the one that totes the sword around. I'm wanting to say it's Venusjoro. So he got a sword, and maybe he'll end up against Zoro. But I mean, it all depends on what exactly their beast forms are, their demon forms, more like. So I don't know, but I don't think we'll get all of the matchups next week, next chapter. But I think we're going to start seeing it. As for Luffy and Bonnie working together against Saturn, it could even just be for one double Nika attack. I mean, we already saw Saturn coming back at him. And then he stops to summon the other Gorosei. Now, with the rest of them here, Saturn, of course, is going to turn his attention back to Luffy, as will the other Gorosei initially, I'm sure. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Send me my son. Oh, damn. Coughing is giving me a headache. I'm going to have to go take some Excedrin when I finish this. But I don't even think we're going to see Bonnie make the choice to go back. I think she is going to jump in unannounced and hit Saturn with an attack that emulates basically what Luffy showed her in last week's chapter. Then the two of them will gear up for the double Nika attack we've all been waiting for, because there's no fucking way I'm the only one that wants to see that. And then he sends her on her way as the rest show up. So, I mean, Sanji's already there, but Zoro and Jinbei show up because the whole thing with Zoro and Rob Lucci just lost all meaning. Nobody gives a fuck anymore because the Gorosei are here. So I am of the mind that Zoro has been toying with Rob Lucci all this time. Jinbei did give him permission to go ahead and win the fight because we need to leave. But considering 4 more big bad motherfuckers just showed up, that's all the permission Zoro needed. So, next chapter, amidst everything else, we're going to see Zoro realize what has just arrived on the island. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to deal with that. You, bye. And off he goes with Jinbei. They meet up with Luffy, Sanji, and Bonnie. Dorian Brogy will be there as well because they headed to where Luffy was before Bonnie did. Bonnie sent them on their way to him, and then she was still headed for the ship at that point when we saw that exchange. So Dorian Brogy will get there. Bonnie will probably not be far behind them, though. Um, they'll fight together. Until Jinbei and Sanji, or Jinbei and Zoro show up. And I think it's at that point that Rafy and Sanji will insist on Bonnie heading on her way again. I would say they'd probably have Dorian Brogy take her, but this is the Gorosei we're talking about. All 5 Gorosei. Not even thinking about trying to win. We're talking about holding them off. Just repelling them, matching them, not exceeding them, not beating them, just matching them enough to hold them back. And I am not sure that the monster quartet of the Straw Hat crew are capable of that alone. So we may need Dorian Brogy here to help with that. I don't know, but we're gonna see. I'm guessing we're gonna see most of that in 11:10. Then 2 chapters from now, 11:11 is going to be a Zoro chapter, and it will. I mean, sure, it's not going to be 100% all Zoro and his fight. We'll get little snippets of the others, but it's going to predominantly focus on Zoro's fight with whichever Gorosei he is paired up against. '11, 12, 11, 13. By then, I would say by 11:13, the broadcast should have finished. And the Straw Hats shift into escape mode. But they still have to fight their way out. So that's still going to take another chapter or 2. '11:14. I say the Straw Hats get back to the Sunny and or the giant pirate's ship, and they actually depart Egghead. 11:15. That's the blowback. 1115 shows us the aftermath of the Egghead incident with the reactions around the world to the bomb that Vegapunk is about to drop. All of the same people that we just saw reacting to the announcement that this information is coming, we're going to see again in 1115 to see their reactions to what this information actually is. So, Fuchsia Village, Dressrosa, revolutionaries, Morgans and Vivi, we're 1115 is gonna show what happens because of this. And then 1116 we reach Elbaf and the Elbaf arc begins. It has to be 1116 because that is exactly 1,000 chapters since Elbaf was first named. So, yeah. As for what I think is going to go down in the Elbaf arc, not here. Not here. At some point before chapter 1116, I am going to find a way to start my series of theories. And that's when you're going to find out what I am theorizing about Elbaf. Already broken. Do I think Dragon will come to Egghead? No, not now at least. Maybe in the aftermath, the way that he showed up at Ohara, but not now. He's still at Kamabaka Queendom, as we just saw in this chapter. So I don't see any way for the revolutionaries, or at least the leadership of the revolutionaries, to reach Egghead before the ends. As for Vegapunk's teleportation technology, I see two problems with the revolutionaries using that. First is the revolutionaries don't have that technology. As far as I can recall, we have not actually seen the technology that Vegapunk used to teleport himself when he ended up stuck in the side of the Iron Giant. So that implies that it is either something small that he was wearing on him somewhere, like on his belt or something like that, or it is a large setup that is located elsewhere in his laboratory, and he actually had to step into a transporter for it to send him elsewhere. Either of those cases, the revolutionaries don't have that. The revolutionaries do not have a large the large setup from Vegapunk's lab on Egghead that they can step into to be sent to Egghead. And or they don't have whatever small device Vegapunk might have been wearing on his person in order to transport himself from one location to another. So I do not see the leadership of the Revolutionary Army showing up on Egghead in this arc. I don't see any way that's feasible. The Revolutionary Army is spread around the world. They have divisions all over the place. They've got chapters and charters and cells and whatnot. So it's entirely possible that Dragon will get in touch with a cell or faction that is located somewhere near Egghead and tell them, hey, y'all need to get over there and go help these people out. So a group of revolutionaries might show up. In theory, probably not, though. I but definitely we will not see Dragon here. We will not see Ivankov here. We will not see Sabo here. Bello Betty, Morley, Koala, Hawk. And so on and so forth. The known revolutionaries, the ones that we know by name, we ain't gonna see them at Egghead. It's possible they could show up at Elbaf. But honestly, I think we're a few arcs away from the Straw Hats as a whole meeting the revolutionaries. In other words, I think we're a few arcs away from Luffy finally coming face to face with his father. Um, the one thing I am truly confident saying is that I still believe with every fiber of my being that the Elbaf arc will begin with chapter 1116. So we will see the Egghead incident resolved, ended by 1115. And probably the episode before that, because we need reactions around the world. And Oda Sensei likes to throw in that one chapter palette cleanser between arcs. So I absolutely feel 100% Elbaf will begin in 1116. I feel 85% the Egghead will end in 1114, and 1115 will be reactions of the world and other goings on around the world. So, yeah, that's what I see coming up. As I said, I am going to find some way to get my theory series started before Elbaf Begins. um, if if that means that I have to do a series of live streams to cover the theories, I will. I don't want to do it that way, but if it comes to that, I'll do it. But I guarantee that at some point before the Elbaf arc begins, I am going to start my series. Hopefully, I can get this new editor to work. We'll see. Once again, if anybody wants to edit for me on a volunteer basis for now, with promise of pay later when I can afford it, then I would love it if you would get in touch somehow. But for now, it's a somehow, sometime soon, you're going to see this. I just don't know exactly how or exactly when. But at some point before chapter 1116, since I do believe wholeheartedly that's when Elbaf is going to start. If anything happens that gives the impression Egghead will end sooner than I am expecting, then, and I still haven't figured out the video editor and everything, then I will go ahead and do the stream. But definitely before 1116. Anyways, let's see what else. Oh, what is Vegapunk going to reveal here? That's the question. See, a lot of I've been watching other people's videos since last week's chapter, and everyone seems to think that, oh, well, Vegapunk is going to finish Clover's speech and give the name of the ancient kingdom, and he's going to give us the history of the Void Century, or at least part of it, and all that. Maybe. Actually, yeah, probably, but it's not going to be focused on that. See, the thing is, when Clover was talking in the Ohara flashback, Clover wasn't addressing the general public. Clover was addressing the world government. So the stuff he was saying was directly relevant to them. And the Gorosei put the kibosh on what he was saying, not because it was going to get out to the world, but because they don't even want their own people to know. This wasn't getting broadcast to the world. This was only being heard by the Marines present, CP9 people present, and the Gorosei via Dendenmushi. That's it. That's the only people that were hearing what Clover was saying. But the Gorosei did not want even those Marines and CP9 people to know this shit. So they said, nope, end it. So they did. The thing is, I don't think the revelations about the ancient kingdom will be a big deal to most of the public. Might raise a couple eyebrows. Oh, wow, really? The world government did that 800 years ago? Damn, that's kind of fucked up. But that's 800 years ago. That's as far as the general public knows, that's completely different people that formed the world government. It's been 800 years since then. In 8 centuries, umpteen different people have lived and died, and there's completely different people running the world government now. So they're not any kind of jerks that it was back then, right? That's going to be the perception of the common people, because people want to believe that the people that are in charge are good people that are going to do the right thing. Everybody wants to believe that. The people we answer to are good people. The people we answer to are the good guys. They're in the right. That's what everybody wants to believe. That's what the whole fucking Cold War was about. And all the propaganda that happens in every war in history, where there's caricatures and stereotypes of the enemies. I mean, look at World War II. There's so much propaganda about the Nazis, the Japanese. And every war, it happens. And while I don't agree with stereotyping on a national level, oh, they're Japanese, so they must be like this. I think a degree of propaganda stereotyping actually can boost nationalism and can be a good thing. Like, don't stereotype the common person of an enemy nation. Stereotype their soldiers. Make their soldiers look like fools. Make them look like sneaky assholes. That, yeah, okay. Because that's enemy troop. The combatants. Average person, no. But enemy combatants, damn straight. That's my thoughts on it. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's a digression, and I apologize for that. So the point is, everybody wants to believe the system they live under is a good system. So if they hear about the people that started the world government did these horrible things, it'll just be, oh, well, that was 800 years ago. The people now are completely different. I'm American. I live in the United States of America. Now, imagine how I felt upon learning that some of the things the American revolutionaries did, not all, they had good reasons for the shit they did, and most of the shit they did was against valid military targets and or unoccupied targets with no civilian lives at risk. But there were a few things, I'm not going to go into specifics because this is a complete digression. But there were a few things that were kind of terrorist tactics that the American revolutionaries did. And I'm not proud of that. So still, I'd like to believe that the American government today that grew from all of that won our independence, they wouldn't do that shit, right? Well, I mean, I don't know details. I don't have any top secret clearance or anything like that. But you hear all this talk, whispers, and stuff seen in movies and TV shows and pop culture that talks about some less than savory things done by American soldiers deployed overseas, like in Vietnam. You hear about soldiers, American soldiers, doing some not good shit, and likewise in Iraq, Afghanistan. The stories are there. So it all comes down to what you believe. Do I believe that every American soldier ever deployed overseas has been a complete saint and could never do anything wrong? Fuck no. They're human. Humans are fallible. Some humans are bad people. And I seriously doubt the Army and the Navy and the Marines have a perfect screening system that and 100% guarantees that nobody who was a bad person could ever end up as a soldier. Yeah, no. Bad people gonna end up in the armed forces and gonna end up deployed during war. It happens. But I'd like to think that's not anything that would ever be sanctioned by my country. Some of the bad shit that these bad people have done while wearing the uniforms of my country. I have to believe it's not something the United States of America as a nation would ever support. And in the same way, the people of the One Piece world, they'll hear this shit about 800 years ago and how the world government was formed, and they'll just take it as, oh wow, so that's how it all started. But it's different people now. They're not like that anymore. They can't be like that now. They protect us all, right? So the revelation about the ancient kingdom, which may or may not include the reveal of the name of the ancient kingdom, I'm still torn on that. But that information is not going to be the crux of Vegapunk's broadcast. No, it has to be something about the world government and its leadership now, in the present. Something that the people alive today won't be able to look past and try and play off as, oh, well, that was so long ago, so the ones today can't be anything like that. No, this is something that is going to stir up a shitstorm around the world, and the news about the ancient kingdom wouldn't do that. In academic circles, maybe, but for the general populace, no. So the main part of the message, we have to think what is going to upset the average person and show them that this system is bad. And then the other thing we have to consider is that Vegapunk is making everybody prepare video Dendenmushi, video transponder snails to receive this. Now, think about it. What information does Vegapunk have that would be visually based that is going to resonate with people on a deep personal level and show the evils of the people currently running the world government? That's right. There you go. You got it now. The crux of this broadcast is going to be some edited down form of Kuma's memories. And probably some other video records that Vegapunk has showing where Saturn, the Gorosei in general, and the world government as a whole have ordered him to do some not good shit. This is going to focus primarily not on the ancient kingdom, but on the bad actions of the current rulers of the world. This will not include informing the public about the existence of Eem. We have no indication whatsoever that Vegapunk is even aware of Eem's existence. So this will implicate the Gorosei. It will probably implicate the admirals. Almost definitely implicate Cypherpole, because he's going to undoubtedly discuss the Ohara Buster Call and how these scholars were victim to genocide for no other reason than because they wanted to learn. So Cipher Pull was a big part of the Ohara Buster Call. Ergo, Cipher Pull will also receive a finger pointed at them. So yeah, there's plenty of fingers to go around. And Vegapunk is going to point them. So yeah. This could actually be done without ever sharing the information that Clover was going to speak at Ohara, or without ever finishing his statement and naming the ancient kingdom. And part of me hopes that that is the case. I agree with another YouTuber that I watched their thoughts about it on, where they said that they don't want to see Vegapunk finish Clover's statement. Robin needs to be the one to do that. Robin is the one primarily carrying on the will of Ohara and seeking the truth of the Void Century. So Robin needs to be the one to finish what Clover started. And it's entirely possible for Vegapunk's announcement to still have a major impact on the average citizen of the world without ever uttering the name of the ancient kingdom. Tell them about Ohara. Tell them that Ohara was just trying to learn forgotten history. And for that, the world government decided they had to die. Mention Robin. Mention how she was orphaned. Mention how she was made one of the most wanted criminals in the world at the age of 8, purely because the government was terrified of what information she might have. Not even definitely had, but might have. Talk about how they demonized an 8-year-old girl because they were scared that she might know something that they don't want to get out. And then, of course, tell them about all the stuff that Vegapunk himself has witnessed and been forced to do. And then finally, for the cherry on top, you share Kuma's memories. Because remember, Vegapunk did say that he had a way to watch the memories without actually touching the memory bubble and absorbing it into himself. So I have no doubt whatsoever that whatever means he created of watching it, he was also able to record it and is going to play that now as part of this transmission. All of the key parts. Especially God Valley. Well, actually, Kuma and his family being enslaved because of Buccaneer lineage, the death of Kuma's parents, then God Valley, Ginny being taken by the world government, Ginny. Well, they got to have the heartfelt stuff in there also, just like shit. The world will probably see pretty much the Kuma flashback that we saw. Only there's their broadcast of it will truly just be from Kuma's perspective rather than a third person perspective that we as manga readers saw. So Kuma being informed that Bonnie has been taken or that Ginny has been taken will be in there. But the happy moments that they shared, because the public needs to see that just like we needed to see that so we can build up the emotional connection to them, so they can build up the emotional connection to these people. And like I said, then Ginny being or Kuma finding out Ginny has been taken, finding out she has escaped, arriving to find her little girl orphaned and Ginny dead from this horrible disease, raising Bonnie, searching the world, trying to find a cure for his tyranny, his tyrannical takeover of the Sorbet Kingdom, as he was protecting the people of the kingdom. Then finding out that Ginny or that Bonnie has the sapphire scale disease, just like Ginny did. Everything he went through trying to find a cure for her. And finally, sacrificing himself on the promise that she would be made well. So, yeah, that, think about how you felt when you saw all of that. Y'all saw me break down. That shit broke me. That's what Vegapunk is going to show. That is going to be the main thing Vegapunk is going to show that tells the world, hey, the people in charge are bad people. That right there. Not the ancient kingdom, not the name of the ancient kingdom, not the way the world government was formed by ganging up on the ancient kingdom, not Eam, not any of that. He's gonna win the world over and open their eyes by connecting with them on a deep, guttural, emotional level. And another reason I believe that is because all the shit that our characters are going to have to go through to ensure this broadcast is able to continue, we're not going to be able to focus on the broadcast. Ergo, because we're going to be focused on other shit while this broadcast is going on, we're going to be focused on Luffy, the Straw Hats, the Giant Pirates, making sure this broadcast is not cut off. We're going to be focused on the action, not the broadcast, which means the broadcast has to be shit we already know. We'll get a bit of the broadcast. We'll see the beginning of it. Like I said, probably a rundown of the Ohara Buster call. And we'll see a few snippets as it checks in between different fights and whatnot. Or as it goes from one fight to another, we'll see bits and pieces of the broadcast here and there. But we aren't going to see this whole broadcast. Don't let yourself think that you will. We're going to be focused predominantly on the action, on our heroes, making sure this broadcast is able to continue until it's over. That's what we're going to be focused on. The broadcast isn't for us. The broadcast is for the characters in the One Piece world. It might drop some new lore for us. And any new lore that it does drop is going to be a bit of a bombshell. But it's mostly for the people in world. So don't forget that. And don't get your expectations too high of, oh, we're going to learn all sorts of shit from this. No, we're not. We might get a couple new pieces of lore. But the broadcast isn't for you. It isn't for me. It isn't for Teching or Grand Line Review or Joy Girl or Joy Boy Theories. This Vegapunk's final broadcast is not for One Piece readers and fans. It is first and foremost for the citizens of the One Piece world. So don't forget that. And when it does finally end up that, oh, wow, the broadcast didn't really reveal anything we didn't know. Hell, we barely even saw that broadcast. Don't forget, you heard it from StrawhatOtakuDrew first. While everybody else is talking about, oh, we're going to learn all this about the ancient kingdom. The old pal Drew here is saying, no, Vegapunk is just telling the world what we already know. So, there we have it. Chapter 1109. As I said before, there is no date for the next chapter on the official website. So, probably a break next week. Ow. But I will keep tabs on it, and I will be right here whenever chapter 1110 drops. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed my reactions and my thoughts, I hope you'll go ahead and slap the hell out of that subscribe button down there. Hit it with a gomo gomo no symbol. Or dawn symbol. Yeah. Gomo gomo no dawn symbol. That way, and don't forget to ring the bell also. That way, you'll be sure to be notified whenever I'm live. And whenever I do finally have a way to post videos again, because I can't tell you right now when that's going to be. So you're going to want to ring that bell to make sure you're notified when it does happen. That makes sense if you think about it. I can't say when it's going to happen. I don't know when I'm finally going to get the damn video editor to work. So y'all need to have the notifications turned on so you'll be notified when the new videos start going up again. And if you enjoyed this stream or watching it archived later on, then go ahead and hit that like button. I want to bring my numbers up so more people can see. Kind of funny the way it works. In order to get more people to see, you got to get more people to watch. So let's get this out there. Let's get my channel out there. Because I have big plans, and those plans can only go somewhere and make stuff better for my viewers if I have more viewers. So let's work on that together, okay? I'll work on trying to get my content running regular again. And you guys work on spreading my channel to other fans. Deal? We good? Let's shake it. All right. We got a deal here. I'll do my part. I'm going to be trying to figure out how to get my videos up and running again. Or get new videos up and running, edited properly. And you guys spread the word about StrawhatOtakuDrew. That said, for now, I'm going to go ahead and just thank you all for hanging out with me. And I hope that I'll see you down in the comments sharing your thoughts. And I hope you'll join me again when 11:10 drops. If there is indeed a break next week, or the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, month, whatever, I might, maybe, possibly go ahead and do a stream of something else in the interim, but I'm not going to make any promises about that. So for now, I just hope you all take care, and I hope that you'll join me for my next bit of content, whether that is a nice unexpected video or a stream during a break week about who knows what at this point, or when 11:10 drops. We'll see, but I hope you'll be there. One Piece 王に俺はなる